Danny the Miracle Man Jacobs announces his first fight with Matchroom Boxing. It's against Luis Arias, and it'll be broadcast live on HBO. It's Saturday, November 11th at Nassau Coliseum. This fight came up pretty quick. Tell me how it all came about. I mean, it came up quick.
Yeah, I was already kind of training. I was already in the gym. They were telling us we just waiting on the HBO day. We waiting on to see what HBO wants to do. Then Friday, I was getting ready to go to the gym. I was gonna take the day off, just relax. And then they said, "Yo, HBO is offering you Danny Jacobs. What do you want? What do you want to do?" They want to answer by the end of the day. I went to the gym. I worked out, and I just felt good. And I was like, called them right back, 12:30, 2 hours later, and I said, "Give me the Jacobs fight." And now we're here.
And where are you going to be training out of? Are you going to stay here or are you going to train?
No. I train in South Florida. John David Jackson's my trainer. And we're heading down there tonight. We're going to take care of this little stuff we got to do and then get right back to work. I'm going to be ready.
Talking about Florida, what condition is it in?
Well, the city that I was in is not bad, but Miami took a lot of effect. The western coast of Florida took a lot of hits from all the hurricanes, and they're motivating me. It's going to help push myself. I got a lot of support around me, and there's going to be a lot of people cheering for me, especially Florida.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about your style and how the difference with Danny Jacobs. You know a lot about Danny, actually.
Yeah, I know a lot about Danny. I've been watching him for a long time. You know what I mean? And I'm a pressure fighter. I can box you if I want to, but I like to fight. For this particular fight, I feel like I'm going to have to fight a little bit more. I'm going to have to chase him a little bit and make him fight. So I plan on using my aggressiveness, touching him to the body, using all my tricks and everything, and I'm going to be ready for this fight.
Hey, and just say a shout out to your fans.
To all my fans, thanks for supporting me, pushing me. There's a lot of people I know that know a lot about me. They know my background, and they know that this is a very tough fight and a very winnable fight for me. So keep supporting me, man. This knockout's going to be for you guys.
Thank you.
Doc Stanley here on the Kristal Hart Show, America's loveliest and foremost female sportscaster. JJ, preparation now. Is there anything special about this fight? He's fighting Danny Jacobs, he's fighting the champion, he's fighting him in New York. Is there anything special you have to do for this particular fight?
The fact that he's fighting Daniel Jacobs is enough. There's another human being in front of him that they should beat up and knock out and get out the way. Danny's a decent fighter. Luis has to just break him down systematically, go to the body, use that good jab, and take away whatever strong points that Danny has, take them away from him, and expose his weak points. It's a good fight for my guy. He's hungry, he's young, and he wants to taste some of the glory that Danny's tasted as a professional fighter. And it's his time, and he's definitely going to showcase his talents on HBO. So, the preparation is there, and I have to watch certain things that Danny's doing and to expose those flaws to Luis, and then have him work him in his repertoire where he just does the right thing and breaks Danny down systematically.
Yeah, and you said there's nothing really special about Danny Jacobs. He's a good fighter. He's not an elite fighter. Al Heyman has had a lot to do with the making of the Miracle Man.
Well, Al had tremendous input in Daniel's career. And listen, I'm not knocking that. Hey, if you can get it that way, get it that way. But Danny's a good fighter, and he's had to fight certain fighters. But when he came up against two guys that he maybe needed to beat, he didn't beat him. He fell short. I'm not saying he was supposed to beat him, because he wasn't supposed to beat him on paper. But maybe one he was. But in his two biggest fights, he came up short. I don't count the Peter Quillen fight as a big fight for him. He won it, but trust me, he didn't fight a guy who was 100% of what he should have been. But having said that, he's fighting Luis now. That's a totally different fight for him. The old cliche, he hasn't met someone like Luis, and I'm not going to use that, but it is out there. It's a good, intriguing fight for the fans. I'm glad the fight was made.
We talked earlier, too, boxing is going through this lapse, and Harold Weston talked about the officiating. It seems to have been horrible to some fights that people won and lost. But you said boxing, from a perspective of officiating and judging, has always been kind of bad.
Always. We're human. We don't always see what we're supposed to see, and some judges get it wrong. Unfortunately, they get it wrong. In some cases, 2 or 3 or 4 fights in a row before they're pulled out. That's boxing. That's just human nature. We can't be perfect, and then some judges just can't seem to get it right, and until they get pulled away, then they'll keep giving bad decisions.
Last one, JJ. It's Long Island, but it's New York. Anything special about your fighter fighting in the media capital of the world?
Since it is the media capital of the world, that's suits well for him. I'm glad he's getting a chance to showcase his talent in front of the New York press, because they're going to put it out there for him and let the world know how good of a fighter he truly is. You know, he's fought in smaller venues with maybe 1 or 2 reporters show up in the whole city. Mm-hmm. Now he gets to showcase his talents in New York, Long Island, and there's an abundance of reporters. And he gets a chance for these guys that maybe have heard about him, now they get a chance to see him in person. And he gets to show the world that he truly deserves to be on the stage that he's on at this point in his career.
Last question now. Are you concerned about getting a fair shake? It's Danny Jacobs, it's New York City. Boxing has a propensity to be on the downhill side from officiating. Are you concerned about getting a bad deal?
Not really, because all those points that you just brought out, the points are going to be brought up to the commission and brought up to the state board. And listen, this fight is not only is a fight for Daniel Jacobs, it's a fight for Luis Arias, and he deserves to eat too. So should he win in the fight convincingly the way he should, let him get a fair decision. We're going to make sure the judges are the judges that need to be in place to not just for our guy, but for his guy, but a neutral judge. Now, someone who's going to vote the fight across the board fairly. I'm not worried about it, because at the end of the day, I believe that my fighter is going to do what he needs to do to take it out of the judge's hands, and I'm damn sure going to put that kind of fight plan together to make sure that he does that.
Okay, JJ, one of the lead fighters in the mold of Gil Clancy, Angelo Dundee, Emmanuel Stewart, one of the great trainers, one of the few trainers around the game. Doc Stanley on the Kristal Hart Show, America's #1 and prettiest female sportscaster, here with the future champs trainer.
Thank you very much.
I'm Kristal Hart. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the fights.